of future performance.
Nestled in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest lies the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. Journey through 90 years of history in the timbered stone structure. It's gorgeous. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week. An amazing deal at an amazing place. Choice steaks, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster, any entree, your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds desserts, and I love those, and huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, 20 bourbons on their bourbon list, over 100 fine wines, 8 elegant dining rooms with real wood-burning fireplaces. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, a Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Take your family to the Fox and Hounds this week. Half your dinners are free. I love this place. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
10:02, we have 39 degrees. It's going to be partly to mostly cloudy today with isolated showers. High today of 45. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. A former Marquette University residence life employee charged with altering data to secure a decade of free rent.
Michael Gerard is alleged to have altered billing data for the university apartment he was living in, giving the impression he didn't owe any rent money. A criminal complaint notes beginning in the fall of 2014, he started changing the status of his apartment in the university's internal records. Gerard said his former boss had given permission to use the apartment rent-free, but then admitted he altered records out of fear a new director would not continue those permissions. Gerard faces up to 13 and a half years in prison and $35,000 in fines. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A Milwaukee Common Council committee will vote this afternoon on a resolution to return school resource officers to Milwaukee public school buildings. The Judiciary and Legislation Committee's special meeting comes after a Milwaukee County judge found the city in contempt over their noncompliance on the issue last week. If passed, that resolution would go before the Common Council during their meeting on Tuesday. Ukrainian President Zelensky says there will be diplomacy for peace after he had a tense exchange in words with President Trump last week. In a video posted on his website, Zelensky said they're grateful for all the support the U.S. has given Ukraine in its war against Russia. He added there is clear support for his country's cause from Europe, and everyone agrees there needs to be peace. In Germany, a car drove into a crowd of people.
Police sort of saying that a man driving a car plowed into a crowd of people. So far, at least one person has died. Several injuries are also being reported. Earlier, police posted on X. They said that they were responding to the incident, adding that a major operation is underway. Police have asked the public to stay away from the area downtown and urging them to stay indoors.
The ABC's Lama Hassan, at least one death reported. Days after he and his wife were found dead, Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman has been remembered by Hollywood. Here's ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
Overnight, the 97th Academy Awards honoring the legendary Gene Hackman with a heartfelt tribute from Morgan Freeman.
Gene always said, I don't think about legacy. I just hope people remember me as someone who tried to do good work.
The 95-year-old and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, both found dead on Wednesday in their Santa Fe home.
Honoring Mr. Baseball on opening day, Brewers Chief Operating Officer Marty Wronski tells ESPN Milwaukee fans will notice a key piece from the team's spring training park will also be present at American Family
We're
Field.
We're going to have Bob's autograph really big in the outfield. That's probably the best way he can be with us and with everybody in that way.
The team is planning a larger celebration of life for Euchre this August. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is down 29 points, NASDAQ down 85, and the S&P 500 is down 10. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:05.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do? like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Finally home. God, what's wrong?
I'm tired of this old, beaten down, ugly garage door.
All right, it's not that bad.
Really? It's so old.
Yeah?
And it breaks all the time.
Okay, yeah, I hear you.
It's dirty, it's loud, it doesn't even close.
Give your old garage door new life. Get a new garage door from Lifetime Door Company. Register to win a free door plus free installation at WTMJ.com.
It doesn't even close and the track is dented.
Okay, you've made your point.
Look at the windows. They're busted.
Brew City is ready to celebrate the draft's return to Wisconsin. Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook, April 24th through the 26th. It features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, its attractions, brews, pubs, restaurants, and venues. The festivities culminate on Saturday, April 26th with Jordy Nelson's Milwaukee Tailgate with Inside the Huddle Live. Buy your tickets now for only $10 and learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks hit the hardwood on the road tomorrow night, tipping off against the Hawks from Atlanta. And the Brewers played the Guardians to a 12-12 tie in spring training baseball from Goodyear. Milwaukee still 4-5 in exhibition play, square off against the Reds tonight. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. A disabled vehicle on the exit to Racine Avenue from I-43 South. Highway 119 East at the ramp from I-94 right shoulder they're blocked due to a disabled vehicle. And the right lane closed on 94 West beyond the ramp from Moreland Road because of repairs and maintenance happening there today. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Isolated showers today, high 45. Mild tonight with scattered showers, low 40. Scattered rain, isolated thunderstorms tomorrow. Rain steady late in the afternoon tomorrow with a high 47. Rain changing to snow Wednesday with minor accumulations, a high of 46. Then sunny, breezy on Thursday, 40. A chance of rain or snow on Friday with a high of 38. It's 38 in Madison and in Green Bay and 39 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:09.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Oricon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. Happy Monday. Just back from the State of the City address at the Baird Center. Overflow crowd there on the ballroom, the top floor ballroom on the 4th floor at the Baird Center. Saw a lot of friends of the Upswing for sure. Montavious Jones from Navarrete Development. Saw Bob Monette from Mandel. Saw Dale Coyanga from the MMAC, Buddy Julius, lobbyist at the firm, Peggy Williams-Smith from Visit Milwaukee. All the seats were full. Even Tom Barrett, former Milwaukee mayor, introduced Mayor Cavalier Johnson, who will be a guest right here on the Upswing tomorrow morning. We'll go over not only the State of the City address, but talk a bit about the UNCF Mayor's Masked Ball that's coming up later in the month. Today on the show, Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management, will join. So last week, I should probably tell this to Dave in person, but it might make him blush a little bit. One of the fans listening texted in to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line, which is 855-616-1620, and said, Dave Spano is one of my fave guests. I learn so much. I agree. So we have lots of topics on the table for Dave today. And later in the show, we're going to get a comprehensive understanding of the Wisconsin 529 College Savings Program. Hope to get you better equipped
to make informed decisions around saving for college. And then we'll end the show with a little ticket talk. And I got to mention this. Just some construction commute stuff. An update for you. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation, WIS DOT, has resumed work along Lake Drive, which is Wisconsin 32, in the city of Milwaukee between Newberry and Edgewood Avenue. Work's going to continue all through the summer. I only mention this because, you know what, it affects my daily commute. So I looked into it a little bit. I just want to bring you the costs. A.W. Oaks & Son, Inc. is the prime contractor for this $8.77 million contract. Construction on this project, creating some bump outs and some additional bike lanes and more, began last July and is scheduled for completion, as I said, later in the summer of 2025. Motorists are encouraged to use Kenwood Boulevard and Oakland Avenue and Hampton Road to get around the closures. All right, 2 seasons, right? You got construction in winter, but it's all making a better city. Let's go, as we do every morning, 2 Up.
Now it's time for the
2, count 'em,
2 Up on the Upswing.
2 things that I'm seeing in the business world that you need to know. Touchland. You know what Touchland is? Revenue at this company grew from $16 million in 2022 all the way to $100 million in 2024. Why is this company doing so well? Seems the hand sanitizer business is having a post-pandemic comeback. Touchland creates these personal hygiene products that have become status symbols for tweens and teens. These little palm-sized rectangular plastic bottles. They come in all these creative flavors, if you will, for hand sanitizer. They've made their way onto the backpacks, kind of like collectibles with interesting, fun flavors. Watermelon, pistachio, peach, berry. Touchland also has a new partnership with Hello Kitty, the $6 billion brand. They're selling Hello Kitty branded hand sanitizer. $20 for a 1-ounce hand sanitizer. Keep your eye on this company. It's growing and growing really quickly. Second up, paper versus plastic. The paper straw. This guy in Illinois named Guy Spinelli. He was sure it was the way of the future. Fascinating story from the Washington Post this weekend. Guy worked 50 years in paper mill business. At age 75, he put all of his savings into making paper straws. Spent $250,000 developing a 3-layer prototype and a $1.8 million custom machinery to make paper straws. Now, 2 years in, Spinelli says the party's almost over due to the president's executive order last month calling the end of use of paper straws. He said it's dealt a swift, decisive blow to his business, cost him business, and is very concerned about what the future may bring. Trump, of course, has signed dozens of executive orders since he took office in late January. A decade ago, there was just one paper straw maker in the United States. Now there are several, but it wasn't until about 2015 that a video, remember the video of the sea turtle with the plastic straw wedged in its nose went viral? Now paper straws continue to grow, but the business is challenged due to the current political environment. This producer in Illinois worries he may have to lay off his employees and file for bankruptcy, but he's got backup plans, as each and every business should. Coming up next, Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we profile the average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life, becoming everyday heroes.
Ryan Lathrop, school bus driver, coming his way, a semi-truck in the other lane, and it's creeping over the center line.
Tried to get around him, see if I couldn't avoid him, and he ended up going right down the side of my bus. I don't feel that I'm a hero. I did just doing my job.
Everyday Hero, Thursdays at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank, they've been doing banking differently since 1896. Your financing requests, they can be approved in days. You don't have to wait weeks because your banker understands you and your business. Service and products go hand in hand, providing top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. Horicon Bank, they get the job done. Together, doing good. That's their vision, and they're committed to doing what it takes to help your business grow. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
The work week is here. Let's begin with your Monday market preview with Jeff Sherman and Dave Spano.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined by Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management. Dave, how was your weekend?
It's pretty good. Joining from the phone today. Hopefully, I sound okay on your line.
I think you're coming through pretty clear on my side. I appreciate it.
Okay.
So, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta's latest GDP now forecast, Dave, it seems like the economy is kind of setting up to take a step back in the first quarter. And how do you align this discrepancy between forecasts and all the economic indicators that we're seeing? How reliable are the Federal Reserve Bank's forecasts?
Well, the Fed is usually out in front, and we do watch them because they do have their finger on the pulse, but you really have to look at that. And, of course, we saw it, and it was negative 1.5% is the projection for Q1. Obviously, that's going to get everybody's attention, right? Because two back-to-back quarters of negative GDP is a recession. But this is what we did. We took a look at it, and what we found is the preliminary trade data showed a record surge of goods imported into the U.S. Why? Because companies are trying to get ahead of the administration's tariff threats. So they went out and bought a lot of things before that. So when you have a lot of imports, that lowers GDP. And so that was the big difference. So we were humming along at about a positive 2.3. All of these huge import numbers came in, have taken that down to a negative number. But, Jeff, that's not the whole story, because when you have all of that, when you have all of those goods come in, what happens is there's two things that are probably going to come out in the rest of the story. Number one, if it gets put on their books as inventory, that's positive to GDP. Or number two, some retailer bought a bunch of stuff from, say, China, and now they sell all of those things. That's a positive for GDP. So what we're seeing as a negative pull forward from these imports may end up being positive in Q2 or Q3. So we're saying, let's just see what really comes out of this thing. But it really came from a surge of imports, and that came from a lot of economic reports.
Yeah, and so how does the forecast impact interest rates and monetary policy moving forward then?
Yeah, great question. So, the Fed meets on March 19th in a few weeks, and very likely we're going to hear it's just too soon to tell, right? Mm-hmm. Because inflation is slightly above where they want to be, 2.5%. So very likely Powell is inclined to just say, we're going to pause. We're not going to turn around and hike, right, because inflation's slightly higher. They're just going to pause their rate cutting. And so, and the other thing he said, which was I found really interesting, is his mandate, the Federal Reserve's mandate, is not growth. GDP is not one of their mandates. It's inflation control, right, and employment. So if their mandate is about employment and keeping employment where it's at, that is more of their forecast. So, and you think about it, the temporary swings in growth, either before or after, generally don't come out in the labor market. Because so you have a bunch of employees, and you had a bad quarter or bad 2 quarters. That doesn't mean you're going to let everyone go in those first 2 quarters.
Right.
You work your way through. So a good labor market is more telling than moves in GDP.
You always got to keep an eye on all the moving parts. So when we come back, I've seen a lot about asset-based debt. I want to ask you, Dave, you look back to 2008. It wasn't good for the economy, so I want to get your insights on what's happening now. Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management. This is The Upswing. You are listening to WTMJ.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
On 894 North, just before the National Avenue exit, the right lane is closed. There's a medical emergency, it looks like.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hello, Debbie. 41 South, just before Capitol Drive. There are 2 cars involved in an accident.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
How would you like to own a jewelry store?
Kessler's Diamonds is an employee-owned company.
And Kessler's is growing. Are you the kind of person we're looking for?
Does it make you happy to make other people happy?
Are you a problem solver?
Would you like to wake up every morning knowing that you're going to help a lot of people find joy today?
Kessler's Diamonds is people serving people.
Keep in mind that Kessler's is owned by its employees. So let me ask you this. Are you a good enough leader that you can be an owner who leads other owners?
Don't worry, you don't have to know about diamonds. We can teach you about diamonds. But the people we're looking for aren't looking for a job.
Did someone pop into your head just now?
Do you think you might know who we're looking for?
Give that person a call.
Send them an email.
Tell them to walk into Kessler's Diamonds and say to the person who greets them,
I think I want to work here.
Welcome to Kessler's.
A fantastic place to buy jewelry and a wonderful place to work.
For the store nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Basement. Water leaks.
Cracks in the walls.
Had them, have them. What do I do?
Who can I trust?
I'm here to help. This is your Fix-It host, David Nason, with expert advice for my listeners. There's only one company I trust with basements, and that's my friends at Accurate Basement Repair. That's Accurate Basement Repair. And you know what? You're going to get a free expert evaluation on me. Just tell them David Nason, the Fix-It guy, told me to call. Again, that's Accurate Basement Repair. Check them out at accuratebasementrepair.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing. Hope your Monday is off and running well today. So, Dave, I'm seeing a lot of talk about Wall Street getting creative and selling securities backed by about everything again. Wall Street expects to sell more than $335 billion in asset-backed debt this year. Should we be worried as consumers about this?
Well, all right. So first of all, let's go back to where you set up before the break, which was so true. I remember very clearly September 15th, 2008, and I won't forget that day. That's the day that things really started to fall apart. Remember Lehman Brothers failing and this cascading failure of financial institutions that followed that. Certainly concerning. The dollar was breaking the buck, as they say. In fact, it was, your money market was not holding its value. I mean, it was a mess. And a big part of that came from all of these unsecured mortgages or mortgages to those who couldn't afford them, who then the banks took those bad mortgages, put them in a product, and then sold them to Wall Street. And then Wall Street, ironically, sold them back to you and I in our 401k plan. So that was a big flipping mess, right? We don't want to go through that again. So what you're talking about is asset-based debt. So it's based by an asset, and that's everything. I mean, they're turning around and selling, as you said, from credit cards and airplanes and golf carts and so on and so forth. But there's an asset there, and so that's called private credit. Everyone knows about private equity. The PE firms are coming in, but that's equity. That's owning part of it. Private debt is the other part of that, and they're lending against those things. And so should we be concerned about it? If you think about the $330 billion that's out there, that is in a market of $7 trillion in corporate investment grade financing. So it's a small percentage, but there's no doubt that all the brokerage firms now are talking to their clients about private debt because it's slightly higher interest rate, but with that interest rate goes higher risk. So what we don't want to see is the bottom fall out, right?
Right. And obviously the banks then kind of make a bet that these loans won't default, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, that's the whole thing, is to underwrite this debt, and it's an asset. So let's assume that they don't make their payment. Then the bank gets that asset. Just think about it as a home mortgage. If you don't make your mortgage payment, they then have the lien on your house, and then they can take your house, and then they can sell it. So it's at least backed by an asset. Does that asset hold value? Like you said, if it's an airplane or a car, what's the underlying asset value? And that's where all of these PhDs and economists and Wall Street PE guys, that's what they're looking at. What's the asset if things hit the fan?
All right. Finally here, I wanted to get your take quickly on the value of the dollar and how we should think about it, and just it can crystallize just why it's important to keep an eye on the value of the dollar overseas.
Yeah, it really is. And so, people say, is it undervalued? Is it overvalued? Anytime you look at any currency, Jeff, you have to compare it to something, right? That's how you take a look at currencies. And so, if you say relative to what? Relative to the dollar 4 years ago? Well, yeah, it certainly has changed. But remember, that dollar doesn't buy as much that it did 4 years ago because of inflation. Mm-hmm. And so even though it's strengthened relative to 4 years ago prices. Or is it strong compared to other currencies? China, or, for example, the Mexican peso or the Canadian dollar. Yes, that has changed value. Why? Because of the threat of tariffs, and that has been an issue. So why is the dollar important? Is because we trade with that. And especially when it comes to commodities, Jeff, 90% of commodities in the world are priced in U.S. dollars. And so a strong dollar could push commodity prices. Think oil, for example. That has a big part of that. So this Trump's aggressive plan to shake up U.S. trade is important because it's moving the dollar. So if the dollar goes down 4%, but tariffs go in, a 10% tariff, does it really work out? And it does. And so we're not manipulating our currency like China does, but there could be a movement in currency prices.
But always a tricky balancing act. Appreciate your time, Dave.
No
Outdoor
doubt.
Living.
Thank you, sir.
Unlimited.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer standing solidly behind Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
This government, this House, and this nation stand in unwavering support behind him and the people of Ukraine. Yes.
Starmer addressing Parliament following the weekend's defense summit in London. In Western Germany, officials now say 2 people were killed and several others hurt when a driver plowed his car into a crowd of people. The driver's been arrested. The alleged gunman in the Highland Park, Illinois, 4th of July shooting in 2022 has pleaded guilty, avoiding a trial that was to have begun today. Pope Francis spending another day in the hospital. The Vatican says he had a peaceful night and experienced no respiratory distress as he did last Friday. Firefighters in the Carolinas battling at least 175 fires stoked by strong winds and dry conditions. South Carolina's fire marshal says 4,200 acres have burned. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. 3 people hurt after a shooting overnight in Milwaukee near the Cream City Social at Holton and Center. Police say the victims are all in their 20s, include 2 men and a woman. No one in custody. Oak Creek police need help finding a missing teen, 13-year-old Lillian Asala, last seen around 4:30 p.m. Saturday near South Pennsylvania Avenue and East Forest Hill Avenue. She's described as a white female, 5'5", weighing 140 pounds, blonde hair and braces. Last seen wearing a black winter coat, blue jeans, and blue and white Nike shoes. You can see photos of Asala on our website, WTMJ.com. A grocery chain CEO resigns following an ethics investigation. Kroger CEO Rodney McMullen out, effective immediately over conduct issues. Company clarified McMullen's conduct is not related to Kroger's financial performance, operations, or reporting, and didn't involve any Kroger associates. Lead director Ron Sargent will serve as chairman of the board and interim chief executive officer. Kroger operates Pick and Save and Metro Market stores in Wisconsin. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 111 points, 43,729. The Nasdaq is down 86 at 18,760. The S&P 500 off 15 at 5,939. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Highway 119 east at the ramp from I-94. The right shoulder there blocked due to a disabled vehicle. And also a disabled vehicle on the ramp from Highway 165 to I-41 south. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly to mostly cloudy today with isolated showers. High of 45 and overnight low tonight 40. Those scattered showers continuing overnight. Scattered rain tomorrow. Maybe some thunderstorms. Rain will be steady late in the day on Tuesday. High 47. Rain changing to snow on Wednesday. Some accumulation possible. High of 46. Then sunshine Thursday. Breezy. High of 40. And a chance of a wintry mix again on Friday with a high of 38. 38 in Madison and in Green Bay and 39 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Hi, I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee. Did you know that Adam members employ more than 7,500 people? Plus, Adam recently completed their 14th annual Feeding America Change Your Oil promotion. To date, Adam has donated over $875,000, which provided over 2.6 million meals. Start your next car search by finding an Adam member dealer at adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
All right, team, listen up. Merle the Squirrel's here to tell you why Capital's duck cleaning is a game changer.
What did he say?
He said, if you haven't cleaned your ducks in 5 years, you're breathing in all kinds of junk. And unlike those companies who use glorified shop vacs, we use high-powered trucks to clean your ducks the right way.
Yeah, makes sense. Cleaner ducks, cleaner air, healthier home.
Exactly.
Schedule your duck cleaning today and save $200. That's right, save $200.
Call CapitalCares.com.
I used to think that going to church was like paying a religious tax. Dying and rising to live in Jesus isn't about paying religious taxes. It is God working the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus in us to grow a new creation.
Dr. Michael Ziegler this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Fleet Farm's bucket sale is back. You know the drill. Pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket for only $3.99. Then save 15% on everything you can fit inside, including clearance. That's right. Any qualifying items you can fit in the bucket are 15% off. So come on in and load up on savings during Fleet Farm's bucket sale, now through March 5th. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. If you're saving for college, you have questions about it, maybe you're worried about it, maybe we can help a little bit. The Wisconsin 529 College Savings Program offers 2 savings plans to save for higher education under Section 529 of the U.S. Internal Revenue Code. We're joined by Jessica Wenzel with Wisconsin 529 College Savings Plan. Jessica, I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So let's just level set. Tell us what 529 College Savings Plan is and just provide a basic kind of overall definition of the plan for us.
Yeah, definitely. Great place to start. So a 529 plan is essentially a tax-advantaged investment account specifically designed to help families save for post-secondary education and career training expenses. So as you mentioned, it is named from Section 529 of the Internal Revenue Code. And, before people start falling asleep, I won't talk too much about Revenue Code, but it is a really important piece of these plans and what allows states and the federal government to offer kind of tax benefits or tax advantages. So Wisconsin does offer 2 plans. We have EdVest 529 and Tomorrow's Scholar that we offer to the public. And I think because it's kind of tax time, it's a great time for us to dive into what some of those tax benefits are and what set our plans apart from others.
So what's the difference then between the 2 plans? One's a direct sold plan and another is more an advisor sold plan?
Yeah, that's right. So EdVest is our direct sold plan. That just means that plan is kind of marketed and sold directly to individuals. So the individual being probably the parent or grandparent opening that account, saving for a beneficiary, which is usually a child, a grandchild, themselves. And then Tomorrow's Scholar is our advisor sold plan. So that just means that plan is opened, managed by a financial advisor. So that parent, that grandparent is actually paying an advisor to kind of take care of some of the investing, the distributions, the contributions for them. So much of how the plans work are the same, and how you can use the funds are the same. It's just in kind of how they're managed. That's where they differentiate.
We're talking with Jessica Wenzel from Wisconsin's 529 College Savings Plan. So, Jessica, how do our plans compare to other states' college savings options?
Yeah, so like I said, I think because we're in tax season, I think it's a great time to talk about the tax advantages that our plans offer. So most plans offer some sort of a tax advantage, but in Wisconsin taxpayers actually get 3 main tax benefits when they save with EdVest or Tomorrow's Scholar. So the first is tax-deferred growth on any account earnings. So your contributions do go into an account post-tax, and then any earnings you experience while the funds are in there are kind of just compounded and added back to your account, helping that account grow over time, rather than like paying gains on that quarterly or annually. Second tax benefit is tax-free withdrawals at the state and federal level when you take that money out to pay for qualified higher education expenses for that student you're saving for. And then third, and probably the biggest and what sets our plans apart from other 529 plans out there, is that Wisconsin taxpayers can claim a state tax deduction on contributions they make to a Wisconsin 529 plan. And we do have a very, very generous deduction. We're very lucky in that sense. So for the 2024 tax year, if you are a married couple filing joint, or if you're a single filer, you can deduct up to $5,000 per beneficiary. So yeah, that beneficiary again is the student you're saving for on your tax return. And if you're married filing separate, you could deduct up to $2,500 per beneficiary you're saving for. So if you're able to maximize that contribution level, that really adds up, right? Especially if you're saving for multiple children. And in Wisconsin, you do have until the tax filing deadline every year, which is typically April 15th, and it is for this year, to open or contribute to an account and be able to take advantage of that deduction.
All right. When we come back, Jessica, I want to ask, just are plans open to all residents outside of the state? Can the funds be used anywhere? I mean, thinking in our personal situation, what if we're saving for 2 kids and one child just decides, all right, I'm not going to go on to college. How can that money be used? This is The Upswing. You are listening to WTMJ.
For people with disabilities, an opportunity can make all the difference. Get help navigating the transition into adulthood, employment, housing, healthcare, and more with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that empowers people with disabilities.
So this job makes me feel very confident. My goal is always to grow myself and learn new things.
Live life to the fullest. It all starts when you say yes. Contact a Thinkability Navigator to get help at thinkabilitywi.org.
If you're a woman looking to take control of your financial future, you are not alone. Women are leading the way in business and managing household finances, but challenges still exist. That's why Annex Wealth Management presents the Women in Wealth series every third Thursday. It'll empower you with knowledge and resources to succeed. Join us for collaborative discussions, community building, and learn about key areas of financial planning. Women in Wealth events are free every third Thursday. Sign up at annexwealth.com/events and bring a friend.
Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox & Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today. He told us to load 4 yards into his 8-foot bed, but we knew that 3 full, honestly measured yards were going to fill his truck bed to the rim. After we proved that, he told us the other guys have been telling him he's been getting 4 yards in there for years. Honest measurements and honest folks who just want to do you right. So you come back. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. You know, I get a lot of questions about QC Kinetics treatments, people asking if they should consider it for their own joint pain. Well, here's how you know. If you answer yes to any of these questions. Is your quality of life impacted by chronic pain in your knees or hips or shoulders or other joints, trouble sleeping or walking? Do you want to avoid surgery, a long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? And most importantly, do you miss doing the things you love because joint pain is holding you back? If you answered yes to any of these questions, don't wait. Call now. Call QC Kinetics and ask for your free consultation and learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can help you get lasting relief. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, walking you through the options of saving for college with Wisconsin's 529 College Savings Plan. Jessica Wenzel joins. So, Jessica, are there income or time limits on these plans? Let's say family is planning. Can we open an account for an unborn child?
Yeah, that's a great question. So you can. And that's kind of a wonderful option because the earlier you start saving in a child's life, the better, right? So oftentimes when it comes to investing, your biggest asset is time, sometimes more so than the dollars you have to put in there. So you certainly can. What you want to do is basically mom or dad, right, would open the account with them as the account owner and then name themselves as the beneficiary in the meantime, because the beneficiary does need to have a social security number or a tax identification number to be named as a beneficiary, but mom or dad can open it, and then once that child is born and does have a social security number, they could essentially change the beneficiary on the account or transfer the funds, expenses encompass. So you touched on the two kind of big ticket items, right? And what most families use a good chunk of their money to pay for, which is tuition and room and board or food and housing expenses. But certainly there's, it's almost anything you can think of for that student to fully participate in school. So that would include, enrollment fees for school, the cost of books, supplies, computers, of course, right? Everybody needs a laptop now. Internet, other related technology, software, right? If that student's maybe going to school for graphic design and they need some of those software pieces, or if they're going to art school and they need, canvases and paintbrushes, all of those supplies for them to fully participate in school would be included. And then these plans are always kind of growing and expanding over time. So there's kind of a couple new buckets where you can use this money for too in your savings. The first of which would be for apprenticeship programs. So if that student decides to, go into a program that is focused on welding, or they'd like to become an electrician or a plumber, as long as that program is registered with the Secretary of Labor, you can use the funds to pay for those expenses. You can also use your savings to pay for tuition if that student is enrolled in K-12 school that has tuition associated, whether that's, public, private, or religious. You can use up to $10,000 per year to pay for that beneficiary's tuition in a K-12 school. And then another key change a couple years back was you can actually use funds to pay back student loans for the beneficiary or the sibling of the beneficiary on that 529 account, up to $10,000 kind of lifetime limit. Yeah.
Yeah, because, life happens. Yeah, life happens for sure, and you want that flexibility within. Can the funds be changed from one child to another in case, one child just decides not to go to college or life changes?
Yeah, definitely. So that's kind of one of the biggest benefits when you open an individual 529 plan is, yes, you can kind of transfer funds between accounts, or you can change the beneficiary. Most often we don't see kind of an all or nothing, right, where one beneficiary just simply doesn't use their money at all. Sometimes what we'll see is one beneficiary pursues maybe a more affordable path, and so you can, maybe they have a little bit of money left over or something, and then a family is able to kind of transfer that to a different beneficiary. So very, very flexible in that sense. And it has to be an eligible family member, but that's a really broad definition.
Okay.
It's not just brother and sister, right? That's you can change it to yourself. Maybe mom or dad want to go back to school, pursue continuing education. You can change it to yourself. Stepsister, stepbrother. It's quite broad. So don't just think, brother, sister, a sibling. It's more broad than that.
And then finally, Jessica, what's the minimum amount and maximum contribution limit?
Sure. So, an Advest account can be opened with $25. It takes about 15, 20 minutes to open that account. And then subsequent contributions, depending on the method you're using, right, if it's from your bank or payroll, can be $25 or even less in some situations. And then the account can hold up to more than $550,000. Most families we're working with aren't seeing that and aren't saving to that amount. But, if you are in the situation, they can hold up to that.
Very good. Jessica Wenzel with Wisconsin's 529 program. Jessica, I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you so much. You too.
When we come back, I'm going to give you some stats on the price of college now. You may be surprised that actually tuition, when you adjust it, is actually not as expensive as you think. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
Join Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty on Wisconsin's Midday News.
A split ruling on compliance for SROs. Judge David Borowski finds the city of Milwaukee is in contempt of court.
Bringing you trusted and relevant news every weekday from 11 to 1 p.m.
President Trump's budget plans include $4.5 trillion in tax breaks and $2 trillion in spending cuts.
Meanwhile, the NFL is considering changing overtime rules during the regular season.
Only on WTMJ.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp. Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
St. Paul.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Your family, your memories, our priority. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContracting.wi.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. 0 wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? Tri-County Contracting at WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. So according to College Board data that was analyzed by a professor of economics and education at Columbia University's Teachers College, Americans are paying less for college on average than they were a decade ago. Since 2014-15 school year, the cost of attending a public four-year university has actually fallen by 21% before adjusting for inflation. Now, once the tax benefits are factored in, according to a recent Brookings Institution analysis, the average American is paying about the same amount for tuition as they were paying in the 1990s. But no matter what, you got to start saving early. That is the key. So always, especially during this tax time, make sure you're planning and preparing no matter what the kids in your life choose to do. One thing I used to do often, way back when we still have Bucks season tickets, but in the Michael Jordan era, we used to take our Bucks Bulls tickets and sell them for a pretty hefty profit, and it would cover probably a month worth of our tickets, which was a pretty nice perk. Now you look at what a lot of the sports teams are doing. The Packers on Friday said that they're going to raise ticket prices by $7 to $21 per ticket for 2025. It's going to be the 15th increase in the last 16 seasons. They're also pushing a plan to stop season ticket renewals due to fans not using their tickets or reselling them at a higher price. Just 3 little takeaways here for you. Supply and demand, without a doubt, drives ticket prices, right? There's a huge demand still for Packers tickets, but dynamic pricing, bigger games have bigger prices, drives even more demand and gets people to buy and sell through whatever platform they want. Now, should season ticket holders be able to sell their seats whenever and to whomever they want? The answer, it's not always yes or no. I mean, there's got to be some nuance there. I say probably yes, right? Teams are capitalists. Shouldn't fans be too? I buy tickets for the fun. I buy tickets for the civic pride of it all. And Lord knows I've spent way too much on sporting tickets through the years, but that's my choice. And shouldn't I have that ability then and that freedom to resell tickets? The teams and leagues have legitimate interests, I totally understand, in maintaining some control over ticket distribution and pricing. The current landscape in the ticket world involves this delicate balance, right, between consumer rights and team policies and legal regulations. It's important when you buy your season tickets for whatever team to review the specific terms of that agreement and the local laws before you resell any tickets. And as a passionate fan, you got to take in the fact that who is going to be in those seats and how are those people going to affect the environment and the team play. Always be there for your hometown team. Coming up next, Wisconsin's Midday News. But first, let's get the latest in business headlines.
These are your